We've had Mark Lewis and Dave Berger in between. So again, this at whatever level, elected officials, special masters, city officials on the administrative side, has taken a tremendous amount of patience and really persistence and perseverance to even get us to this part. As you see, BART Phase 2, the contract advertising, I've been told by Mitzi, is underway. Our goal is to have this entrance open in about 2.5 years. A free pedestrian pass-through, and even able to get to Safeway to a not paid area. I talked about Measure B1. Oh, do I have to mention this? I just say this. I'm so glad that October ended. I'm just so glad that October ended. Because, you know, Halloween is people dance around the street wearing black and orange. And the Giants wear black and orange. And being a Dodgers fan, it was like, could this month ever finish? Could it ever finish? And it did. So the sun is out now today. But instead, I will say this. By raising the tracks to the level of the BART tracks, and we need to get the ACE train to stop in Union City, it would only take 22 minutes to reach the new 49ers stadium in Santa Clara. And I realize the 49ers have been very supportive of getting our station here, which again, as a Rams fan, it's tough for me to spit that one out, but I just did. So we're happy to see that take place. Windflower Properties, Faye, are you out there? You stand up, Faye? Windflower Properties is going to be building adjacent to our station center, so that's we're looking forward to her contribution coming through there. The office and commercial aspects will be adding farther on the other side of that slag heap down there. Again, is the east-west connector, which goes back to 1986, I might add, when that was first voted on by the people around Alameda County. We're still banging that thing. And Tom, you remember, you were Public Works Director when that happened. Our Department of Finance right now, I'm talking about the state, has not accepted what's known as the 2013 ROPS, and Evanoff, he's roaming around. He wanted to give you all the acronyms for all of this. We had a meet and confer session, and we're hopeful that we're going to be getting some relief, that the people at the State Department of Finance see the light of day and see that we have a great case right here why we should be able to keep spending money on this station. And we welcome the Department of Finance support. I don't see any, was I missing any state legislators? Did anybody happen to see what? I mean, the real legislators. Is there one out there? A representative. Okay. Ms. Corbett's representative, that's right. And we appreciate Ellen's support here, having a staff member when we did have that Department of Finance meetings. We take that back to the center. We appreciate that. Now, some of the people that really need recognition today, Boris Dramoff and Bonnie Fisher, the Roma Design Group, the Station District architects. Would you both stand? So what you see in front of you, people, if you like what you're seeing, and I'm sure you do, you know, Boris is back there showing a man of multiple talents, a Renaissance man. He's also taking pictures today, the photographer. So we appreciate the great work you've done on this. I know that Evanoff really liked spending 3 months in France on this, too. That was good for that. I also want to recognize Chloe Justy and Murray Debray, the granddaughter and daughter of the dancer-sculptor, that's the Louis Debray. I mentioned there's no personal connection here, but although my last ancestors in the United States were French, they were from outside Bordeaux, 1857. But it was great to have that here. And let's see, recognize anybody here from MTC, the Federal Transit Administration, the Department of Housing. I think we'll get to that later. And at this point, you've heard enough of me for now. I want to introduce the president of Mid-Peninsula Housing. He spent a few years working with Gavin Newsom in San Francisco, and before that was up in the big town of Sacramento working for the State Housing Department. Matthew Franklin. Matt.
Thank you, Mayor Green, for that introduction. I'd forgotten about the Dodgers affinity. We had several city council meetings on this development. I heard a lot about it at the time. I'm sitting here thinking it's remarkable you're such an upbeat, generally happy person, because I'm not sure there really are brighter days ahead for you. I do really want to thank you, Mayor, and thank all the City Council, many of whom at the time that we were most intensely working on the entitlement for this, that included Carol and Jim and Richard and Manny, and also of course the current City Council folks, all the policymakers and staff at Union City for just an incredible vision, and I would say clarity of purpose and persistence on the entire Station District plan. Part of this. Our role in this at MidPen has been focused on Station Center affordable housing, which we're very, very proud of. And you know, when I joined MidPen about 4 years ago, this was one of the first developments that I became kind of deeply involved in. And we made a decision at that time collectively with the city that was pretty aggressive. Originally, the affordable housing was sort of interspersed along all 4 blocks of the plan area here. And the decision we made was to aggregate it into one block, one development, so that we could pursue a very substantial amount of funds that were going away that were part of the Prop 1C funds at the state. And we had about 4 months to entitle the development in order to compete for those funds. And those funds actually are essential to the plaza here and to kind of some of the community aspects of the district plan. And I've told this story many times, but I have vivid memories of one of my first big meetings in my new role at MidPen, and it was a meeting convened by Mark Leonard and Joan Malloy and Mark Evanoff, and it was right after we had sort of made this decision along with the council to move in this direction. And they had, you know, it was just remarkable. They had virtually the head or a senior person of every department that is necessary to entitle a large residential project: planning, finance, building, fire, in the meeting. And once, you know, we clarified the objective, the entire 2-hour meeting was about how do we work together to problem solve and to get from point A to point B. And it, you know, having worked in San Francisco, in Sacramento, before that actually in Washington, which, no offense, Lynn, some of those legislative bodies aren't the most functional in the world. It was just you know, I felt like I'd fallen into heaven. It was just a remarkable experience. And that, you know, that doesn't happen, I know, unless there's alignment at the highest level of elected officials. The council just had this uber clarity. Larry Cheeves, the city manager, and Tony had uber clarity of what they were trying to achieve, and that just empowered everybody to really do remarkable things. And when you think about how far, you know, it may have been a 20-year journey, but these last several years have been some of the most difficult economic, and I would argue with RDA, political times in recent memory. And to think about how far they are into this incredible, fulfilling and creating this incredible vision, it's really, really remarkable. Again, our role in this was the affordable housing, so I want to talk a little bit about that. 157 units of much needed affordable workforce housing. And I really believe that this is a shining example of the best of smart growth. So this is a relatively dense development, over 70 units to the acre, as it should be, in such a remarkable location immediately adjacent to incredible transportation and neighborhood amenities, parks, groceries, a number of other important amenities nearby. It's mixed use, includes 8,600 square feet of commercial. Again, I think appropriate as the city activates this area by opening up the back end of BART. And I think it is a highly livable environment. So we really believe that we can pull this off where we can have a denser development for families and have it be a great place to live. And one of the ways we do that is to plan very, very thoughtfully and to just have a lot of common and community space built into the plan, both indoor and outdoor. So there's a very large community room, over 1,500 square feet, a computer center that doubles as an academic-based after-school program for school-age youth, an exercise room, outdoors a tot lot, and a community garden. And then, of course, we've been just incredibly blessed. You'll see when we go over for lunch at the development that we're immediately adjacent to this just incredible public playground that's just one of the amazing parts of partnering